Welcome one and all to the following segment of enjoyment and an escape from reality. But beware, the show you are about to bear witness to will not hold back when it comes to spoilers, language, and things not appropriate for work or children. If you continue on, we hope that you laugh at the banter, that you are thrilled by the topic of discussion, and marvel at the host's dedication to their craft, because you can only get that type of treatment here at Monster Madness. You have been warned.
I followed Dracula all the way from Europe because I believe that he's going to try and revive the Frankenstein monster. We must find him and destroy him before he can do this.
Wait a minute. Why don't you get down to the police? Tell them you know the story about Dracula and the monster. They'd be very interested.
Oh, I can't do that. Because then I'd have to tell them who I am and why I know what I know. Soon the moon will rise. I haven't time to explain. I've taken the room across the hall. Here's the key. Lock me in.
Lock you in?
Yes, please, hurry.
It's silly, but I'll do it. He's scared, too.
Hi, hello, everyone, and welcome to Monster Madness, a podcast dedicated to all sorts of creatures, features, and beyond. Happy New Year! It is January 1st. Isn't that exciting? 2024 is finally here. Okay.
Some of us are still trying to work through 2020.
Really? Let it go. Let it go. It's been 4 years.
It's been a hard 4 years.
You're not wrong. We are finally back and ready to kick off our humor horror season to Matt's sublime. Look at him. Look, he's so happy.
Did you just sit down and write down a bunch of school words to really shoehorn into this?
I have word of the day toilet paper. Before we get into the episode, we do need to do some housekeeping. First off, Monster Madness has gone from a trio to a duo. Matt and I will be at the helm of the show from here on out, and with that comes some changes to the format of the show. As of right now,
all pirate everything.
Arg.
I don't know, you said helm, ship, starboard, port, seaman, poop deck. I'm just saying boat words. I have boat word of the day toilet paper.
There you go. As of right now, Questions of the Damned is going on the back burner. It's kind of hard to do a trivia show with two people. Plus, I don't want Matt to get an inflated ego winning that much because he'd be the only one participating.
I mean, it's not like I didn't win all the time prior.
True. All I do is win.
You just fucking put that in there.
I'm gonna. I'll
Good.
do a little
Good.
click. I'm not taking out me singing it, but I'll do a little
That's
spot for you. We are still sticking with our bi-weekly schedule for now. Maybe jump to weekly episodes in some way, shape, or form, whether it's full-blown episodes, bonus shows, or monster minis. Not sure yet, but definitely full-length movie reviews every 2 weeks. But yeah, we are back, and we are very excited.
I didn't know that Gabagool is just Capicola.
Are you even, do you have a drop of Italian in your blood?
I don't think so. A lot of German and Polish.
Oh, I didn't know you were Polish.
My mother's maiden name is Krajewski.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's why I like sausage so much.
And a pierogi just fell right out of your mouth.
Man, if I puked pierogies, that'd be awesome.
That's kind of like a ravioli.
It is just stuffed with potato instead of
Ugh,
cheese or a combination of the two.
I love potato.
So do I. I've been doing. I don't want to talk about ravioli, but I've been taking like a microwave potato and you smash it and you just air fry the shit out of it and then throw Greek yogurt on it. So it's like a thicker, kind of like a potato skin type thing, but there's still a little bit of soft tater in the middle. I like crunchy potatoes. I like crunchy fries, tater tots, all potato servings. I like crunchy.
If I put a fry in my mouth and I don't hear a I'm not satisfied.
I want to see you at a restaurant, just bite into a fry and it's soft. You just throw it down.
I
Get
would.
up and leave.
I send it back. Last but certainly not least, you can find Monster Madness on all your favorite podcasting platforms, social media sites, and things of that nature. Matt does stream video games from time to time, and who knows, you may see me start down that avenue as well in the very near future. If you'd like to support this show, you can do that in many different ways, such as Patreon, buying merch, making donations to the show, or just simply leaving a review on your podcast provider. Those 5 stars go a long way, and if you decided to write something, we will read it on the show. If it's negative about raviolis or Matthew, we will not.
We can. I'll just incessantly make fun of you and bring it up all the time.
Oh, I was going to read it no matter what. Bonus show.
There we go. It's like we just read mean reviews about ourselves.
I think. Do you have any housekeeping? How have you been? We have not recorded in a really long time. I haven't seen your face in a really long time. I'm just talking until your dog stops barking.
That's what I was listening for. Well, he's in his crate, but he apparently doesn't want to take a fucking nap.
Oh God, I would kill for a nap.
Every time I start to talk, the fucker barks. I mean, I guess I don't really have any housekeeping. I've been fine, busy.
You made a comment, I think, before we started recording, and I want to address it publicly. You held down the show in 2023 while I was dealing with a bunch of shit. You were dealing with a bunch of shit. Everybody was dealing with a bunch of shit. So I just want to publicly thank you for doing all these little interviews, and just don't give me that face. Take it. Take the compliment. I'm trying to be nice publicly for once. I want to start 2024 on a good note.
I mean, I appreciate it, but you did not need to do that. It was fine. It gave me an opportunity to get it's like a nice little excuse to force friendships. Like, especially with the DJ episode that came out, is I really enjoyed him as a comedian, and I was like, I'm gonna make you my fucking friend. So I was like, let's do this. And then, you know, other opportunities presented themselves, like with The Boy Below, having Jackie on, who's, you know, obviously your family and a friend of mine. So it's fine. Plus, eventually at some point, Podcast Hair may come back.
I did want to bring that up.
I know Corey was working he was resetting up his office, and he was working on getting a new computer, which I believe is pretty close to complete, if not completed. But I'm hoping to start sometime in early January, which the plan with that is to do those live on the Monster Madness Twitch, similar to how we used to do them on YouTube back in the day.
Nice.
Yeah, so it should be fun. It's weird because it's legitimately the same concept for the show, except I talk about fast food a lot more.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, so much shit is coming out in the fast food world. Just yuck it up.
And I have not eaten fast food in like 2 months. So
proud of you. Your dogs are excited about it too.
I know. I'm trying to like mute his fucking dumbass, but
I mean, they're a part of the show.
Yeah, there is that. And Barf, well, I mean, as of recording it, he still has his surgical suit on, his suiticle, if you will.
Aww.
So he can't lick his dick incision.
I was going to ask, did he step on your dick again while sleeping?
He has not been back in our bed since that night, because he will not sleep in his crate with a donut on, and I don't necessarily blame him, which is weird because he's done it before. So one night after I was streaming on Saturday, I was drinking and playing games. I was playing Lethal Company with Hiccup Spa, and I think I went to bed and fell asleep for about 10 minutes, and then was woken up by Alyssa, who said he peed in his suit. We have to wash it. And then after 30 minutes of him just screaming in his crate, I said, fuck this, and I got up.
I like how that became a we project.
I knew it would just be easier if I just got up.
Yeah.
And so eventually he just fell asleep on the couch, and then I fell asleep on the couch for about an hour, and then she came out. That's when he came into bed with us, and this is where the dick stepping comes in. So Wicked is in bed with us, and anyone who pays attention, Wicked is 12 pounds, Barf is 35.
Damn.
And Barf is a fucking cannonball of a little dog, or a dog. And we were concerned that he would step on Wicket, and he thankfully didn't. But every time he would walk around, or we would, like, someone would shift, the first thing he does is he gets up and he puts his face in your mouth and sniffs it. That's his thing. Like, he loves sniffing in ears and mouths, and I don't really care because I love him. But he then proceeded to step on my kidney and my liver at one point, and straight on my crank. And yeah, it was awful. So when I went back to bed at 5 a.m. and this started, I think it was 8:30, I finally was like, well, fuck this. But I did take 2 naps that day.
There you go.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's, you know, like having a child, I guess.
I mean, pretty much. I can't even begin to tell you. I mean, me and you are both sick as of recording this right now. We've all been sick for, I think, 4 years.
See?
And I can't even tell you. There's a cough. How many times my children have coughed in my face today alone? And it's just a never-ending cycle.
It was like 2 days ago. We were laying in bed, and because Alyssa has had a cough the whole time, and I just it comes and goes. So she's been essentially sleeping like sitting upright. She has like a sitting pillow so she can sit in our bed and work, and then Barf will sleep in his crate. Because if someone's in that room, that dog would sleep for 24 hours a day. That is the best part. So she was kind of like sitting up, and she was looking at me because she has to look past me to see the TV in our room. And she coughed, and it was one of those where I just like felt it breeze across my face, and I thought about stabbing her. Because it also reminded me of a story. My friend Ken, I can't call him our fucking bass player anymore because he resigned, but we go to a lot of comedy shows. We're going to see DJ. That totally just blew open when this is getting recorded if you pay attention. But we were at he has this history of sitting next to the one person in the club that is coughing. And it's like a 250 person club. It's not huge, but it's not small.
Yeah.
And he was telling this one story, and Ken has long blonde hair, and he goes, someone coughed, and it was just he just grabs his hair and just like kind of flutters it. He goes, it just coughed and it blew my hair. So when Alyssa did that to me, it just reminded me of Ken fluttering his hair because someone was coughing in his face. I promptly fell asleep and got over it, but I did give her shit the next morning for it.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I cannot wait until they're older and I'm sick and I can just sneeze right in their faces.
Just walk up to him back. Yeah.
Basically, it's like that episode of The Office when Dwight is like, no, we need to expose ourselves to germs, and Jim just sneezes right in his face.
Just watched that one the other day.
Nice. Yeah. Everybody's a cesspool. I'm always sick between November and April, in some form or another.
Especially with like I go into the office 1 day a week now, and that's essentially when I got sick. Was we had wrestling. And then it was like, I got better. And then we played a show. And then I had wrestling in a weekend. And then I got sick again. So it's like, so eventually it'll taper off. And then I'll have fucking wrestling in the holidays. And I'll get sick again. So.
Yep. I just wish that like my immunities would build up to a resistance where I just fucking don't get as sick as I do. Like, it's just like, it's awful. At least I can breathe right now.
You'd think that is the huge thing. Like I'm not even going to say as sick, but for as long as I have been sick, I haven't really been like ultimately congested. It's like, like right now I could probably blow my nose and watch a snot come up, but that's about it. And then I'll cough here and there. Well, yeah, but it's better. Like I hate when you blow your nose and nothing happens.
Oh God, don't even get me started. That is just the rage of
Yeah. So it's I guess for lack of a better way of putting it, I will take this over that.
I will end the sick conversation with this. In the past 2 months, Mikey, hi Dad.
Love you, Mikey.
Had walking pneumonia. My aunt
because he's a walking pimp.
My aunt had some sort of bronchial infection. Oh, and my kids had pink eye because of an exposure in my youngest daughter's classroom. It was the foulest thing. I basically maced myself with Lysol every day in the face.
Ooh.
I did not get it.
Thankfully.
Thankfully, yeah.
Yeah, that shit sucks. I forgot it was a meat raffle that I got sick at, and it was because of Dylan.
Worth it.
No, we didn't win shit at that one. We won a lot at the last one. Like, I sent you a picture. A lot of fucking meat. I basically told Alyssa, I said, you better fucking up that meat game because we have 5 pounds of ground beef and like 7 pounds of chicken breast to go through.
Big taco party.
She talked about doing tacos. I've just been doing a lot of like chicken and vegetables.
There you go.
With various seasonings. I found the magic of sugar-free barbecue sauce.
Okay.
Which I love barbecue sauce. I like not being a fat turd more. So like sugar-free is like daddy still gets his sauces, doesn't get to beat us.
Daddy still gets his sauces.
You made it weird. It wasn't that weird. It was pretty weird, but it wasn't that weird.
I think this is the longest intro we've ever done.
Well, we're basically catching people up on the last year of shenanigans.
It's been really shitty. It's been really great. And then it got shitty again. And then it got really good again. And now we're here. Happy 2024, everybody.
Yeah, I just had one massive dip and then switched jobs and things are on the up and up. But I've been along for your ride, so it's a team effort.
My train wreck. So yeah, I think we have covered pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is Daddy ready to get into the episode?
Don't fucking call me that.
I want everybody to know right now he's blushing.
Daddy's ready.
Ew. I need to find Candy Cane.
Candy cane.
Candy Cane, come on.
Aren't they remaking that Joyride for
They
anyone?
fucking better not. I will fucking riot. R.I.P. Paul Walker.
Oh, it
Steve
did
Zahn.
come. They did. They already did.
What are you fucking talking about?
It came on 2023. I'm pretty sure I even watched it.
Fuck
July
off.
7th, 2023. Nope. This is not. This is a different Joyride.
Is it porno?
No, I wish. Their no holds barred epic experience becomes a journey of bonding, friendship, belonging, and wild debauchery. Might be a porno.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, I thought that they were remaking the horror movie.
They better not. Just stop it.
No, maybe not. Thank God.
Good. Sometimes we don't need to. That movie is perfection.
It's a really great stamp in the time.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still there's a Joyride 2 and 3 I need to watch.
I've never seen them, but they look awful. I want to watch them.
No shit.
Rusty Nail coming out for those teenagers just one more time.
Oh boy, enough blabbering. We should probably talk about this movie.
All right, so without much further ado, we kick off the long-awaited humor horror season with 1948's Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Dracula can change himself at will into a vampire bat, flying about the countryside. Flying. Listen, you're making enough noise to wake up the dead.
I don't have to wake him up. He's up. I saw a hand.
You saw a hand?
Uh-huh.
Where?
Right over there.
Let me see it.
Right over here.
Where is it?
I saw a hand there.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're all excited reading this legend. Now listen, Wilbur. I know there's no such a person as Dracula. You know there's no such a person as Dracula.
But does Dracula know it?
Now listen to me. McDougal will be here any minute with the insurance agent. Now get to work.
Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein was released in theaters on June 15th, 1948. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 23 minutes. It is not rated. It's directed by Charles Barton, and there is a awesome animated sequence in the beginning that is directed by Walter Lantz of Woody Woodpecker fame. So if you see similarities in the animation that way, that's why. This movie falls in the genre of comedy. It's produced by Robert Arthur. They give writing credits to Mary Shelley and Bram Stoker, obviously because Dracula and Frankenstein star in it, but also Robert Lees, Frederick Ronaldo, John Grant. It was distributed and produced by Universal Pictures. Matt, what was the budget?
Okay, I'm not prepared. I have the budget, but I'm not prepared with the inflation calculator because... Well, here's the thing. So in 1948, the budget was $792,270, which $792,270 in what month did you say it came out?
June 15th.
Okay, right in the middle of the year. Heshapoo, $14.9 million if they made that movie today.
God damn.
Which seems like a shitload of money for what it is, but there was some special effects with, the werewolf changing and shit like that.
What's $50,000 worth?
Oh my God, I just closed it.
Well,
just you'll have to edit this part out.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, fine. 50,000 from what? At what point?
1948. Like in today's standard.
Yep. 19 helps if I go to the 40s and not the 70s. $50,000 would be $647,000.
Okay, this is a fun fact that I was going to save till later, but since we're talking about, money and inflation, Lou Costello would not do this movie, but he got a $50,000 signing bonus. So that man made bank. Also, he was kind of a dickhead. But I digress. The first one of the year. My digressing.
Wasn't he was kind of well known at this point in their career as being a douchebag, right?
Oh yeah, it's like one of those things where it kind of dampens like my enjoyment just a smidge when you find out that this duo that has like really good on-screen chemistry actually fucking loathed each other. Like they did not like each other after a certain point.
But and I can't think of a specific band off the top of my head, but there's oftentimes where you hear stories about these massive bands who everyone has their own tour bus because no one can stand talking to each other.
That makes no sense to me.
It does, but it doesn't. Like if someone was offering you a dump truck full of money to do something, and that's really the only thing that you know,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, well, I can just travel. All I have to do is be in a room with you for 2 hours a night, and you're gonna pay me all this money. I'm gonna remain rich and famous. Like, I feel like to a certain extent, most people could just get by, especially when you're making that kind of money to do something that you don't want to do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like look at like Fleetwood Mac. Everybody's fucking each other. Everybody's fighting with each other. So, anyway, this movie stars, as we were talking about, Bud Abbott, Lou Costello, Lon Chaney Jr., Bela Lugosi, Glenn Strange, Lenore Aubert, Jane Randolph, Frank Ferguson, and quite a few others, but you're not going to know who they are. Some taglines for this film. It's a grand new idea for fun. Jeepers, the creepers are after Bud and Lou. Jeepers, the creepers are after somebody, and guess who? More howls than you can shake a shiver at. I hate that one. The laughs are monstrous. Bud and Lou are in a stew when they tangle with the titans of terror.
Did whoever wrote these feel like they would be better if everything fucking rhymed?
I don't think maybe I don't know if it was intentional that they rhymed, but in that order when you read them, they do rhyme.
Yeah.
I don't get it, but you know, it is.
Well, I mean,
it is.
yeah, and rhyming is a light-hearted way to do something, and Abbott and Costello obviously weren't serious. It was comedy, and this was not supposed to be a horror movie, so I guess it makes sense.
All right, so the plot of this film. Now, we're going to basically, like, I think the intro is probably going to be the longest part of this because the plot, there isn't a lot of meat with this potatoes. But that's okay because I think it's a fun watch, but you know, that is my opinion. I am very nostalgic when it comes to this movie because I will say, again, another shout out to Mikey Peel. He showed me this movie when I was a little kid. We watched it every fall, Halloween. We would watch it randomly throughout the year. I think we had it on VHS, I want to say, or he had it like recorded on like a VHS tape, and we would watch it all the time. I actually, in the animated sequence that you see at the beginning of the film, which is probably one of my favorite parts of the film, I got him one year for Father's Day a t-shirt that had like the silhouette of all the monsters on it, and it's like his favorite shirt. He loves that shirt. But yeah,
awesome.
Randomly he'll just be in another room when we used to live together, and he would just be like, Chick, like just if something was in distress. But yep, very nostalgic for me. I can see why it's not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, it is what it is. So the plot of this film, thanks to Wikipedia, Larry Talbot makes an urgent phone call to a railway station in Florida where Chick Young and Wilbur Gray work as baggage clerks. If you recall, Larry Talbot is the Wolfman from season 1, Wolfman, 1941, I believe. Poor Larry. He's still really suffering along with that fucking lycanthropy. Talbot tries to warn Wilbur of a shipment due to arrive for McDougal's House of Horrors. However, before he finishes, the moon rises and Talbot transforms into a werewolf, causing Wilbur to think that the call is a prank. Meanwhile, McDougal demands the crates be personally delivered to his wax museum. Chick and Wilbur deliver the crates after hours. They open the first one and find Dracula's coffin. When Chick leaves the room and to retrieve the second crate, Wilbur reads the Dracula legend and the coffin suddenly opens and Dracula sneaks out. Wilbur is so frightened he can barely articulate his call for help. It's so... If you like any type of like Three Stooges, vaudevillian humor, you would enjoy this movie. I don't know if Matt did. I know I did. When Chick returns, he refuses to believe the story. The boys open the second crate and Chick goes to greet McDougal. Dracula hypnotizes Wilbur, finds Frankenstein's monster in the second crate, and reanimates him. Both leave, and McDougal finds the crates empty and has Wilbur and Chick arrested. McDougal is an obnoxious fuck. Not my cup of tea.
No, he seemed like a real dick.
He was only nice when he talked to Sandra, which is Wilbur's lady.
Yeah.
Because she was a
Because
lady.
she was a smoke show.
True.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stand, I hated the guy, whoever plays McDougal, I think it's Frank Ferguson, who was just like, police, like, shut the fuck up, dude.
It was Frank Ferguson, and yes, it was quite obnoxious, but I get it.
Yeah, I've never seen him in anything else. I want to know, actually, if that was like a bit he's putting on with that obnoxious voice, or if like he talks like a normal human being.
Sounds like you have your homework. God, his fucking Wikipedia page, he's got a real strong mustache.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck else? He was in a ton of stuff.
I'm sure he was. Most people in those, like, in that era were in, like, a fucking movie a week. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I wish there was a number on here, but between 1940 and 1965, it's got to be a good 50, 60 movies.
It does say a number. You're just stupid. He was an actor in 325 things.
I'm on Wikipedia. I'm not on IMDb. So you're on there.
His last appearance on anything was in 1976 on Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, that is TV involved. This is just movies. The last movie he was in was The Great Sioux Massacre in 1965.
Oh yeah, he stuck to TV, but it was like literally one episode. The most I think he ever did in the later years of his life. He was on Lassie for 7 episodes. Good on him.
Well,
Everything else was one episode.
I'm gonna assume that he had such a illustrious movie film career that when he got done making movies, it was kind of like one of those things where he just gets brought in for one episode to be whomever. And
police.
Yeah, that's all he does is he shows up in TV shows and just yells police.
It's possible.
It's likely, but he did a lot of like crime stuff, which is odd.
I mean, I feel like that era is like a lot of, noir detective-esque type movies.
That's a good point. I didn't realize he was in House of Wax.
Well, there you go. Maybe we'll watch that eventually.
As the medical examiner. So he very well could have yelled for the police in that too.
I fucking hope so. I may just watch that beforehand just to see. I really want him to. All right. So that night, Dr. Sandra Mornay, they were arrested. That night, Dr. Sandra Mornay welcomes Dracula and the monster to her island castle. Sandra has seduced Wilbur as part of Dracula's plan to give the monster a more obedient brain. Meanwhile, Wilbur and Chick are bailed out of jail by Joan Raymond, an undercover insurance investigator who feigns love for Wilbur, hoping to gain information. Wilbur invites Joan to a masquerade ball that evening. Talbot takes the apartment across the hall from Wilbur and Chick and asks them to help him find and destroy Dracula and the monster. Wilbur agrees, but Chick remains skeptical. There's this really great scene between Wilbur and Larry Talbot where he goes to lock him in the room and he steals an apple and he conveniently misses Larry as he turns into the werewolf. Goes back and forth whether or not he wants to return the apple because he feels guilty for stealing it. It's a fun little bit. I really enjoy it. I wish they would have brought it up in the Wikipedia, but they didn't. Maybe I'll add it. Maybe I'll make a Wikipedia account and add some shit. I think I should do that with my time.
Fucking might as well.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Uh-oh. What's the matter now?
Somebody's got a knife in my back.
Oh, nonsense. Where's the switch? Here. Sandra should see you now. Turn around. Look what you're afraid of. Turn around. Right. Oh, come on. Get up on your feet. It's only a dummy.
Dummy nothing. It was smart enough to scare me.
Oh, come on. Get a hold of the box.
Wilbur, Chick, and Joan go to Sandra's castle to pick her up for the ball. Wilbur answers a telephone call from Talbot, who informs them that they are in fact in the house of Dracula. Wilbur reluctantly agrees to search the castle and soon stumbles upon a basement staircase where he has a few close encounters with the monsters. Meanwhile, Joan discovers Dr. Frankenstein's notebook, Frankenstein, in Sandra's desk, and Sandra finds an insurance investigator ID in Joan's purse. Dracula, under the alias of Dr. Leos? Oh yeah, that was right. Dr. Leos introduced himself to Joan and the boys. Also working at the castle and attending the ball is the naive Professor Stevens, who questions some of the specialized equipment that has arrived. After Wilbur says that he was in the basement, Sandra feigns a headache and tells the others to attend the ball without her. In private, Sandra admits to Dracula that she feels they are not safe to conduct the experiment. Dracula then turns her into a vampire. At the masquerade ball, Talbot accuses Leos of being Dracula, but no one takes him seriously. Joan soon disappears. Sandra lures Wilbur into the woods and attempts to bite him, but fails. While looking for Joan, Talbot becomes the Wolfman and attacks McDougal. Police! Since Chick's costume is a wolf, McDougal accuses Chick, who escapes and witnesses Dracula hypnotizing Wilbur. Chick is also hypnotized and rendered helpless while Dracula and Sandra bring Wilbur, Stevens, and Joan back to the castle. The next morning, Chick and Talbot meet up in the bayou and set out to rescue Wilbur and Joan. I really like that word, bayou.
Why?
I like how when you say it, I like how it's spelled. I like to say it. It's just one of those fun words, bayou.
What about Creole?
Creole. Oh, that's nice.
So personally, I like Creole food. I like all that shit, which is just murder for you because of all the shrimp in it.
I know. I want to love it. Trust me. I would almost die for it.
I mean, I don't know if you need to go that far, but like a good gumbo or a jambalaya, big fan.
I'm really upset that I can never experience, because, newsflash, I'm allergic to shellfish. I wasn't always. I literally got the allergy when I was about 20, 21. I always wanted to do one of those like seafood boils. And I could never. I want to so bad. Like I see pictures of them and I'm just like, I wish that were me. And I'm like, if I had a Benadryl, I might be okay. Like just give me like 5 and then take me to the hospital, but just let me enjoy it for a few minutes.
I feel like, and I've done a few seafood boils. I did one, like I literally made one for myself one time and I just recall it being way more time and effort than really is worth.
Well, yeah, for yourself. But if you're doing it for like a party, that's another thing.
I mean, one time in Texas, my cousins did a crawfish boil.
I've always wanted to try crawfish.
Not
good?
It's not that they're not good. It's just not worth. They're tiny little lobsters. And I think the last time I was in Texas, we went and got, man, it had to be like fucking a 5-pound sack of crawfish. And 4 of us ate it and we were still hungry. Because it's like, I don't know how many to a pound, probably 30 to a pound or whatever, but you pull the butt off and it's just like a little strip of meat.
Yeah. I mean, it always it's like, oh, I bought a 2-pound lobster at a restaurant or whatever. Yeah. And you only wind up getting like half a pound of food. Because it's all fucking shell and, people don't know how to crack them properly. Like my great-grandparents lived in Maine, so every time I went up there in the summer, we had like fucking fresh-ass lobster. And I miss it so much.
Maine is on my list of places to go in which I will make Alyssa sit outside while I eat lobster.
I want to go back there to visit like places that I went to as a kid, but I was actually like thinking about it. I'm like, I could literally probably go nowhere to eat. Maybe like a diner and like only be like, can I have a piece of toast? Maybe that didn't touch a fucking
I'd like saltine crackers, please.
Basically, and they have a fucking shit ton. They have those oyster crackers. They have fucking boatloads of them.
Love those things.
Oh yeah, that's the main national bread right there. Wilbur is quickly freed, but Dracula uses hypnotism to call him back. As Sandra prepares to cut into Wilbur's brain, Talbot and Chick burst in. Chick knocks out Sandra with a chair, and Talbot tries to free Wilbur, but turns into the Wolfman again. Frankenstein's monster breaks free of his bonds. Sandra tries to control him, and he throws her out the window. Yeet! After a chase through the house between Chick, Wilbur, and the monster, and a face-off between Dracula and the Wolfman, Dracula transforms into a bat but is pounced on by the Wolfman, who drags the two of them to their deaths. Chick and Wilbur escape in boats while Joan and Stevens set their pier ablaze while the monster is standing on it and he dies in the flames. Everybody dying up in this bitch. Wilbur scolds Chick for his earlier skepticism, and Chick remarks they have nothing to fear now. The Invisible Man addresses them from the boat's thwart, and they flee the boat in terror.
So, was there supposed to be an Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man?
There is an Abbott and Costello.
Oh, there is. Okay. I couldn't remember.
There's a few Abbott and Costello So, like, Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy, Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man. I believe I've seen the Invisible Man. They don't, like, according to my dad, who's seen all of them, they do not hold a candle to Frankenstein, so that's why that's the most popular one. I did find out while doing notes for this that there is an Abbott and Costello Go to Mars, and I really want to watch it because it looks fucking so kooky and bananas and probably so bad, but I really want to check it out.
Oh shit, there's a meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh yeah, there's that one too. There's quite a few of them.
Go to Mars. Shit.
Yeah, they cashed in, man.
Oh, good for them.
I'm looking at the rest of my notes here. A couple things that I made note of in my notes, as one does with their notes. Lou Costello really uses physical comedy a lot, and for the time it really works. The gap between this movie and vaudevillian acts like Three Stooges is small, so I don't know. Were you ever a Three Stooges person?
Not really. I mean, I didn't dislike it. I never really got into it. Like, slapstick comedy is not lost on me. I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, to answer your earlier question, I did enjoy this movie for what it is.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. So
and you've watched it like 2 or 3 times at this point now.
2
for me.
Yeah, 2. I wait till the day of to watch this shit.
Oh, I know. Yeah, that's really it. Oh, there was one scene. It's probably one of my favorite little I don't know. I never read if this was intentional or like if it was kind of spontaneous on Lou Costello's part, but there's a scene where everybody's fighting Dracula and the Wolfman. Lou and Bud are running from Frankenstein, and Lou sees this like drape on this table, but like there's candlesticks and like plates on top of it, and he pulls it out and everything stays up. That that party trick where you could just whip it out, everything stays still, and he looks directly at the camera and breaks the fourth wall, and he was just like, oh, yeah, I fucking did it. I don't know if he meant to do that or if that was just something like he was just like, fucking, did you guys see it? I fucking did it. And then he pretends to be Dracula and confuses the monster. But I always loved that scene. But that was all I had for notes. Now, I have a question for you. Since we don't do questions of the damned anymore, I'm basically going to just read some trivia from the movie. I have 2 names. Which one do you like better? This is an executive decision that we're going to make in front of everybody.
Okay.
So we can either call it terrorizing trivia or monster minutia.
Well, there's no boob references in either, so is it bad that I almost Googled what minutia actually means?
I mean, I can tell you.
Well, and that's the thing. But my thought here is that maybe not. It's like not a common word. Maybe we don't go with that because I don't really care. I shouldn't say I don't care.
Maybe I'll just flip flop it. Right now, it's terrorizing trivia and monster minutia. Okay. Next week, who knows? So some fun facts for you guys. Lou Costello didn't want to make this movie. We talked about this earlier, but declaring, no way, I'll do that crap. My little girl could write something better than this. A $50,000 advance in salary and the signing of director Charles Barton, the team's good friend and the man some call their best director, convinced him otherwise. Although he would play similar vampires, ghouls, zombies, and other things in other films since Dracula, which came out in 1931, this would be the only second and last time that Bela Lugosi would play Dracula in a feature film. Excuse me. Bela Lugosi's last involvement in a film for a major studio, Universal. The scene in which Wilbur unknowingly sits on the Frankenstein monster's lap required multiple takes. Lou Costello improvised wildly, causing Glenn Strange to break up laughing constantly during takes. Oh, I like this one. And it was pretty obvious if you know films from this time, but if you don't, Vincent Price provided the voice of the Invisible Man in the final shot, interacting with Bud and Lou. However, Price was not involved in Bud and Lou Costello meet the Invisible Man. I fucking love Vincent Price. I think my dad actually met him once. He had an autograph and he lost it, so I'm fairly certain
Shit.
Mikey met him. During the final chase scene, when Wilbur and Chick are standing in front of a door, the Frankenstein monster punches through it. Lou Costello deliberately went off of his mark and got hit on the jaw. The director liked his reaction so much, he decided to keep it in the film. It doesn't look like a terrible hit, but I went back and checked it out. He does get lobbed in the side of the head pretty decently by Glenn Strange. In 2001, the Library of Congress selected this film for preservation in the National Film Registry. Quentin Tarantino has cited this film as a big influence on him on how to blend different genres. And finally, even though Bela Lugosi, Lon Chaney, and Glenn Strange reprised their roles from earlier films, this film is not considered a part of the continuous storyline from those previous movies. This is kind of a one-off, and it combines everybody together. A 1948's Monster Squad, if you will.
Yay!
We did it. But
Yeah.
we still got one more part. Yay, nay, or slay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm going yay. I guess I assumed you were waiting for me to go.
Yeah. I mean, you can talk sometimes. This is your show too.
I know. I mean, I don't really have a ton to say. It's fun. It's short. It's to the point. A lot of references to the time in terms of horror movies. I mean, so you have all the greats at the time that show up in this movie, and it's like you were kind of mentioned. If you like vaudevillian slapstick humor, it's a good time. I'm not upset that I watched it twice. Like, I don't know if it's something I would go back and watch every year, but by no means did I decide that this was a waste of time having watched it.
There you go. This is a major yay for me, obviously. Love this film. Very nostalgic for me. Reminds me of my dad a lot. Will always remind me of being a little kid watching this with him. I think it's definitely a good starting place for humor horror. I think you don't get a lot, like, as I tried to look up, and there really wasn't a movie prior to this that had like horror elements, because like those movies from like 1931 and 1941, Frankenstein, all that, like, people got scared watching them. So having them in like a humorous setting, I don't think anything had ever blended a genre like that. And now, there's a million movies like this. I mean, we have a whole year's worth of movies to watch and talk about that I think you don't have some of them without this cornerstone. Like, up next, we're watching Young Frankenstein, and I think that there was a lot of influence from this movie into that one, and like it's like a domino effect.
Yes. I was trying to see. I was going to make a joke about Terror at Bloodfart Lake, and I couldn't remember if it was on this list or not. It is not.
Well, it needs to be.
I'm down. I watched it before. I've seen them both. Return to Bloodfart Lake.
Should we do okay? So, like, real talk.
Mhm.
Most of the movies on here on this list are like movies that are not like that, like not like a Thanksgiving, not like a fucking massacre at Bloodfart Lake or whatever. We should do like a whole season on movies that are just fucking obnoxious like that. Like they're what is that? Oh my god, there was one movie you told me where it was like a fucking tire was the killer, like a tire just like chased up, like it was a killer tire or something.
Yeah, I can't. Is it Tread?
But it's just like shit like that I honestly
Rubber.
Rubber, there it is. I believe in Airtable I do have like a fucking season ideas, and I think I have one that's like fucking crazy. I'm trying to think. I'm looking. Remake Stay Out of the Woods, blah blah blah. Ridiculous Monsters, yeah, like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Llamageddon, Killer Sofa, The Velocipaster, Carousel,
Velocipaster, I do want to see.
Killer Pinata, Zombiever, Ouija Shark. Like, I could go on. There's so many. So we will have a season. Add the fucking Bloodfart Lake to that. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode of Monster Madness. We are very happy to be back. I'm very excited for this year and all of the funness that's going to ensue. But yeah, thank you so much for your patience and for hanging out and just continually interacting with us over 2023. Listening to Matt gab on and on and on and make friends with a million people. We appreciate you.
I mean, I appreciate that.
Say something fucking positive for once. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I'd like to echo the sentiments of my friend Erica, my best friend, if you will.
Oh.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's been obviously. I mean, we continue to do this because people care. Same with the Twitch stuff. So,
I don't give a fuck about no one. I just do it to hang out with you.
Okay, so I do it because of everyone else. Erica's just a byproduct of that.
That tracks.
I said something nice. Are you fucking happy now?
Yeah, I'm happy. We can go now. Thanks so much. We will see you on the next one. If you want to watch along, we're going to be watching Young Frankenstein. See you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Labor Day.
Sandra, what are you going to do?
Don't worry. I'm not going to hurt you.
Thank you.
Soon, instead of being short and chubby, you'll be big and tall and as strong as an ox. And furthermore, you'll live forever and never grow old.
Oh, Sandra, you still love me. But Sandra, how are you going to do all these things?
By simple operation. I shall remove your brain and put it in his body.
You're going to take my brain and put it in Junior's body?
Yes.
Ha ha! For a minute, I didn't know how you were going to do it. Pain! Must have been stolen en route.
You mean you saw them?
No.
Well, then where did they go?
I don't know.
If they're gone, I want my insurance money.
I'm sorry, my company doesn't pay off until a full investigation.
Did you hear that? If you don't produce those bodies, I'm going to call the police.
Police?
Police! I can do better than that. Police!
I'll get the other.
Come on,
Wait a minute.
Get on.